Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Now, today's video is sort of a this and that question. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions about what are things that you do not care to crochet or just don't like to crochet, or maybe things or patterns that I just do not like to design. And so I thought today we'd get a little bit personal. And I'll tell you, I've got a list here of 5 different things that I just really prefer not to design or crochet. It's not that I won't, and I have done some of these, but they're just not my favorites. Are there things that you would prefer not to crochet? Are there things that are a little bit more complicated, or you just don't care for it? That's kind of what we're talking about. Also, if you can put your comments down below and let me know things you don't really care to crochet. I had one person tell me, I do not like making washcloths. And a lot of people don't care for them, but they're a great way to learn new patterns and make something useful. And so they still make them even though they're not their favorite. All right, so let's get started. Number 1 on my list of things that I do not prefer to crochet or even design are dresses. Dresses are quite complicated because all of our bodies are different. And I have crocheted dresses that I have not finished. They do take a lot of work, and I really appreciate designers who take the time to make them. They're just not my favorite. I've had experience in the past with maybe using the wrong types of yarns, and they end up being really stretchy. And then you wear it, and by the end of the day, it's a little bit too long. And that's why it's just not one of my favorites. And I know this isn't, a lot of people love to make dresses, even baby dresses, but I just don't care for them especially. I've made a few doll dresses and baby dresses, but I just don't care to make them. But that's just me. Number 2, I do not like to make sweaters. Sweaters are so complicated in my opinion, and I've made them, but I didn't like it. I made baby sweaters when my grandkids were little, but I just do not like them. The thing about sweaters is there are so many measurements. You've got the chest measurement, you've got the shoulder measurement, you've got sleeves, you've got around the arm measurements, around the waist, length of the sweater. And then you have to decide, is it going to be a raglan sweater? Is it going to be a cardigan? Is it going to be a pullover? And I have to tell you, sweaters are extremely complicated to design. Even your most basic, simple sweaters are complicated because all of our bodies are so different, like I was saying with dresses. And it seems like there are just so many kinds of sweater patterns. And then after you figure all that out, then you have to decide, what stitch do you want to use? Is this going to be a warm sweater or a lightweight cardigan, And so that's just something I just don't really prefer to design or crochet. There are a lot of wonderful sweater patterns out there, whether they're for men, women, children, babies, a lot of really great ones out there, and I've used some of them. But it's just not one of my favorite things to design or crochet. That doesn't mean I won't do it though. Number 3 are slippers and booties. Now I do have some slippers and bootie patterns out there, but I'll have to tell you, they are not one of my favorites to design or crochet. And that's because I can never ever get both of them the same. In other words, we have 2 feet, right? I'll follow my own pattern and I'll make 2 and I'll hold them up, and they're not the same size. One is longer than the other, one is taller than the other. And our feet aren't the same size. My feet aren't the same size. They're a little different. But still, if I'm going to make these and give these as a gift, I want them to look perfect. And I can never ever get both booties the same size, whether it's for a baby or an adult. And that's why they're not my favorite to make. I have some patterns out there and I will make them, but I don't want to. So number 4 is a little bit different. I don't really care to make baby items. I have some bonnets out there, some hats. I love to make blankets though. I love to make baby blankets, adult blankets, any size blankets, lap blankets. I do really, that's one of my favorites to make. So I will make a lot of baby blankets. But as far as all the little baby clothes, I don't do a lot of that. And I don't really like to do that. And the sad thing about that is I really love crocheted baby items. But that kind of goes along with the sweaters I was talking about. I do not like to make baby sweaters. There's just so many complicated measurements involved in that. And I don't really like to make baby dresses. I've made baby bonnets, and I do all the sizing, measuring of the heads and things. And I do that, but it's just not my favorite to make. I guess what I should say is it's not my genre. Baby items are just not one of my favorites. And I do make a lot of baby items for friends and family, but I don't do a lot of patterns. It's just not my favorite. I love to make them for other people. It's just not my favorite as far as creating and designing patterns go. Number 5, and lastly, one of my, is it a pet peeve or something I just don't care for, is inappropriate crochet. My thinking is this. I have worked with children that are autistic that I've taught to crochet. It helps with concentration. Also, I've been working with my grandkids learning to crochet, and I am not going to design something that I wouldn't let the people that I work with make. And what I mean by that is if you do this, it's okay. I'm not condemning you, and please don't be offended by this, but I do not like to crochet things with inappropriate language, curse words or cussing words or whatever you call those type words, as well as inappropriate body parts. I don't care if you do it, and sometimes I think some of them are kind of funny, but I just will not be designing anything like that, and I myself will not be crocheting anything like that. And a lot of times, my thought is this: would I let my, grandchildren make this particular item? And if I would not let them, then I don't want to have that on my channel. I'm not saying that you can, of course, and there's a lot of those different types of things that are out there that are kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not ever going to do anything like that. So if you ask me, don't be offended if I say no, thank you. All right. So anything that I personally deem inappropriate, like, curse words or inappropriate body parts, I'm just not going to do that. Like I said, I just think if I wouldn't let my granddaughters or grandson make that, or kids that I work with that are autistic and challenged, if I would not let them make that, then I'm just not going to put that out there. And so those are my 5 least favorite things to make. And it's not that I won't make some of those things. They're just not my favorites. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you can probably figure out what some of my favorites to make are. And maybe I'll make a video about that. That would be fun. Now, I would like to know what your things that you don't care to make are, because that will help me in designing patterns for you. What patterns or styles that you just don't prefer, things you just saying, I am not going to make that. I'm interested in your comments and what you like. That's why I said this is going to be a little bit personal. Well, I'm going to let you go on that. Thank you so much for watching my videos, because I cannot do any of this without all of you. All right, so I'll see you next time for another edition of This or That or the Other Thing. See you next time.